It's Half-Life Day. A day we thought would never come has come. We have a new Half-Life. Half-Life Alyx was announced today. I'm Kurt Navina, and we are here with Michael Hyam.
Hi.
What's going on? Like, what do we know so far about this new Half-Life game?
Half-Life Alyx is a VR title, so it's coming to PC-based VR. So if you have Oculus Quest through PC Link, if you have Oculus Rift, if you have Valve Index, and if you have HTC Vive, you'll be able to play Half-Life Alyx.
So don't need a specific headset to be able to play this, which is a huge relief because I was a little stressed out. I don't have the VR stuff. I don't have the VR PC.
Well, you got to get something.
I know I got to get it, but I was like, I don't have to. I have options, which is cool.
Well, you got until March 2020 because that's when this game is going to launch, and it's a full story-based game. So this isn't just a quote-unquote tech demo of something that Valve is working on. This is a full-fledged game. This is a piece of the Half-Life universe that's said to be about a 15-hour story.
But
what?
Am I standing? How are we doing this? What is how are we going to move around? Because I know there's VR games historically are really best in small portions.
Sure.
So how am I going to be playing? I can't imagine playing a game like Half-Life 2 standing the whole time.
Yeah, you have different options. You'll have sitting and standing. There's also room scale. So if you have the space and you want to be walking around, interacting with your environment in that way, you'll have that option. There's also different types of movement in case any type of movement gets you sick in VR. There's teleportation. There's a dashing style of movement, and there's also artificial locomotion where you just push the joystick and your character moves. That one can mess some people up. So thankfully, those are the other options out there.
And also going back, where does this take place? So we ended on a cliffhanger, by the way. So we still don't have that conclusion. So instead we have we're playing as Alyx, we know that given the name, but where does this take place in the timeline of Half-Life and Half-Life 2 and Half-Life Episode 1 and 2?
It appears that this happens before the events of Half-Life 2 because there are a lot of shots in the trailer that kind of give you the idea that you are Alyx in City 17 stirring things up beforehand because we see what looks to be the Citadel being built still in construction. And there's a lot of instances where Alyx is, going to places that we have seen, but in different context. And I think that there is a snippet at the end of the trailer, though. Half-Life Episode 2 spoilers, sorry, the 12-year-old game, but towards the end of the trailer, you hear Eli, her dad.
Yeah, I was about to say, someone's alive in this trailer.
All this is my fault. I never told you. I couldn't. I'm so sorry, baby.
By many accounts, we think of this as a prequel, but the end of Episode 2, as we know, Eli dies, and he says to Alyx, close your eyes, honey. And you hear that in there. And I think Vortigaunt maybe also says that only you can prevent this, Alyx. So in a way, is it a prequel, but also maybe a time traveling sort of thing? And that's not too crazy out of the picture for Half-Life. I mean, they go
1 and 2.
Yeah, they go wild places with Half-Life. So this might be a way to kind of tell a little bit more about Alyx, but also bring Eli back into the story.
Close your eyes, honey.
As a Half-Life fan, was this something you were expecting? We've been waiting, and it was safe for me to assume, it's better if I just pretend it's not going to happen. Half-Life is dead. And then when, the announcement happens, then it'll be a grand old surprise, in which it was today.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about where they're taking it now, all these years later?
I think it makes sense. Valve has been going all in on VR, so it makes sense that if they're going to make a huge push for VR, bring out the big guns, bring out Half-Life. But it's not just, hey, we're slapping on the Half-Life name, It also makes sense thematically for VR. In the trailer, you'll see that she gets gravity gloves, you know what I'm saying? Gravity gloves. But that makes me think about the different things that Half-Life Alyx can do, because a lot of VR has to do with interacting with your environment and the different, using objects to, in combat scenarios, interacting with your environment in different ways.
Which takes what Half-Life 2 did and is now bringing it to you, instead of having a gravity gun, this item that you use to pick things up, you are now
exactly
getting all in it.
And the thing about Half-Life is that it always pushes the medium in a certain direction. And that's what Half-Life 2 did with the gravity gun. Was wild because, I'm in Ravenholm pulling saws out the wall and then chopping zombies in half. And that is such a cool experience. And picking up barrels and throwing them at Combine, that was such an integral part of Half-Life 2's gameplay. And if you're going to take that to the next step, you have to do that in VR, where you actually are the hands in that game. And you can see in the trailer that, you know, there's a moment where Alyx pulls in like a grenade and then throws it back at the combine.
Or when the part that got me was when like throwing stuff off the shelf to like pick up a shell and like put it in and actually like cock it. That was badass.
Yeah, and then so people might be hesitant of like, hey, this is a VR game, I'm not into this. But this is how you take what Half-Life 2 did to the next level, like I said. It's environmental interactivity. And if anyone's going to make a full-fledged VR game, right, it's probably Valve. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be Half-Life Alyx. Based on, I mean, the trailer is just a minute and a half, but there's so much to it.
And something that we're seeing in this is that, I mean, the staples of Half-Life are there. Like, I know we've talked about interacting with actual objects and grabbing stuff and using it as a weapon, but like headcrabs.
I can't imagine what it's like in VR to have headcrabs going after my head. Like, I don't know, you're gonna have to prepare yourself for that one. But yeah, like I said, the things you want from Half-Life are there, including G-Man. At the end of it, he shows up. He doesn't say anything, but he just shows up.
Which is sweet. I really like when he just comes in and you don't hear that like kind of crackly, kind of weird ass voice he's got.
Yeah, a commanding presence without saying anything.
That said, predictions. What do you think is going to happen in this? Do you think we're going to see a certain someone at the end of it? Maybe another G-Man, if you know what I'm saying?
Gordon, maybe? I don't know.
That's the guy.
I don't know. It depends on, I'm not exactly clear what the timeline is for this quite yet. I'm sure the people are theory crafting out there. But I think for, as far as like what can happen in this game, I think you and I both agree that, maybe since this is a VR game that has a lot to do with, using hands, solving puzzles,
you're going to play Artifact.
No, you're gonna build Dog.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. Yes, that's sweet. You're gonna build Dog, and then you're gonna play Artifact in VR with Dog.
You keep bringing that up. That was even your Twitter prediction.
Yeah,
this is gonna be 10 minutes, and then you're gonna be playing Artifact with Dog the rest of the time.
Word.
No, I don't think they got Artifact over there in City 17, but that would be a really cool thing to kind of, an intimate moment maybe that, Dog is kind of a cool
building Dog?
Yeah, that'd be
build
cool.
Dog,
yeah.
Play solitaire with Dog, drinking games with Dog.
But he can also save you.
And he can also save you.
There's an ending shot to the trailer before G-Man. There's this huge floating ship or piece of construction, though, that looks very ominous. And I think that might have a lot of lore implications. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but I'm sure it's related to maybe the things that the Combine were doing at Nova Prospekt and going to unveil some more deeper lore into the world of Half-Life.
And that's the thing. I was like almost kind of like bummed out how good this game looked, because that means I have to get a good way to play it. I got to get a good PC. I have to get a VR headset.
You got to invest in VR.
But it's selling me, and that's the thing that's like kind of is getting that's like I'm excited for it. Yeah. I actually feel for the first time enticed to really get a VR headset.
This could be the next killer app for VR games.
Also, the game is free, or you can get it for free.
Sure. If you already own a Valve Index, you will get Half-Life Alyx for free. But if you don't have one, you can buy one and you will get the game for free. So that until its release date, you can go onto the Steam page and it'll be right there. If you buy whichever package you buy for Valve Index, the VR headset, you will get Half-Life Alyx for free. And if not, then it's a full-fledged $60 game.
So that's everything we know so far about Half-Life Alyx. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep up to date with other Half-Life stuff, make sure to come to GameSpot.com and stay tuned on all that jazz. I'm Kurt, this is Michael. Thanks again.
Peace.